guys, and welcome back to a new video. So today's video is going to be a mid-year book tag, going through some of my favourite books of the year so far and what I want to read for the rest of the year, and then we can get excited for the rest of the year, as I seriously need to get down on my physical TBR because it's getting a bit bad. As bad. Let's just dive straight into today's video. So I've got a couple of prompts and stuff to go through, and then I'll show you the books that relate to that prompt. I do feel like there are going to be a couple of duplicates just based on what the prompts are and that kind of thing, and obviously they're my favourite books of the year, so I feel like if they fit in multiple categories, then it is what it is. So the first category is the best book that I've read so far in 2024, and I've got two that actually fit into this category. So the first one is Funny Story by Emily Henry. If you've watched my channel for a while or you follow me over on TikTok, you will know I am an Emily Henry stan. Miles and Daphne, the whole kind of building a friendship when they really needed each other and then going from there was just amazing. If you don't know what this book is about, basically Daphne's fiance Peter breaks up with her, calls off their engagement and says, you need to move out because I am in love with someone else. I'm in love with my female best friend Petra, and she's going to move in. Petra is actually currently in a relationship with Miles, so then Miles is like, what about me? So Daphne ends up moving in with Miles. They kind of form a little friendship when they kind of need it. They're both going through the same like really abrupt breakup, and yeah, and then a romance blossoms from there. I just feel like her books read more like a literary fiction with hints of romance, which is just exactly what I love. And then the next book that is my absolute favourite of 2024, and I just feel like nothing is ever going to top this book, I haven't stopped thinking about it, is A Court of Mist and Fury. If you haven't read the ACOTAR series, if you don't think it's for you, honestly just give it a go. I feel like you have to read books 1 and 2 to then make a decision, because book 1 is okay, but as it's a fantasy, it's kind of like world building, you have to get used to the characters, that sort of thing. But then book 2, hit it out the park. It was amazing. It was ultimate 5 stars, infinity stars if I could give it. But yeah, absolutely love this book. I love Reese. I love him. He's amazing. Top tier book boyfriend. I just love him. I'm so excited to read the next one, but this one is just amazing and definitely my favourite read of the year and just favourite read ever, I think. That's a bold statement, but it could be true. The next prompt is the best sequel that I've read in 2024, and it just felt wrong to not say these books because they're amazing. It's also not really a sequel as such, it's part of a series, but like, let me tell you and then I'll explain. So the books that I've chose were Magnolia Park's The Long Way Home and Daisy Hates The Great Undoing. You're going to say, well, that's books 3 and 4 in a series. However, this is technically like Magnolia Park's number 2 because it follows on from Magnolia Park's the first book in the series, and then this is technically like Daisy Hates number 2, so you know, you catch my drift. But yeah, I just felt like because I had got used to the characters and formed an emotional attachment to them, that these books just really hit different and were just soul crushing is the only word I could think of then. Soul crushing, but in the best way. They were amazing, absolutely amazing. So yeah, I absolutely adore and love these books, but these were my favourite sequels from the year. I feel like I haven't really read that many sequels. I mean, obviously A Court of Mist and Fury, top tier sequel, but I used that for the first one. So yeah, these two were my favourite sequels, and I just love the whole Magnolia Park series, and if you haven't read it, please just give it a go because it's just amazing and heartbreaking all at the same time. The next prompt is a new release that I haven't read yet but I want to, so I've gone with ones that have like already come out and not ones that are due for the rest of the year. So the first one is actually Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez. I haven't actually got this book yet. I really want the US cover with the nice writing because that's what I saw, and then this is the cover that we got in the UK, and I was like, excuse you, what font is that? What font is that? I want the nice one, so I want to have the nice cover. I will find the nice cover somewhere. So yeah, I haven't read that one yet, but I really want to. I have FOMO because everyone else has been reading it and saying it's amazing, so I need to get around to reading that one. Then the next one is Wild Love by Elsie Silver. I haven't actually read this one yet because I want to finish the Chestnut Spring series first. I have 2 more books to go and then I'll be finished with that series. I just feel like I will understand more if I just want to read them in order. But yeah, so I am excited to read this one, and the cover is just stunning. But yeah, I am very excited to read it. I just love a cowboy romance. I know that this is not cowboy in terms of the actual main character, but it is still set in the same world as Chestnut Springs. Then the next one is This Summer Will Be Different by Carly Fortune. This is her new release. I absolutely love Carly Fortune's writing, and yeah, just I'm so excited to read this one. I am trying to save it for warmer weather, but I just feel like I'm just going to have to read it because we're literally in the middle of June, and I think we've had like one day of summer here in the UK. It's just absolutely ridiculous, so I'm going to have to just read it and just get on with it and pretend that it's summer. Then the last one is Magnolia Park's Into the Dark, which I really want to read, but I am absolutely petrified of reading because I just feel like my heart is going to be smashed into a million pieces, and then I'll have no more Magnolia Park's books to read. It's a big dilemma. It is a modern day problem, but it is a big dilemma. So yeah, I'm just too scared at the moment to read this one. And she is chunky. The next prompt is the most anticipated new releases for the rest of the year. First one is actually Novel Love Story by Ashley Poston or Poston. I am so excited about this book. The 7 Year Slip was literally one of my favourite reads ever, and my favourite read of last year. So I'm very excited, and HarperCollins have very kindly offered to send me the copy because of how much I love the 7 Year Slip. So I'm very excited for that to arrive, but obviously it hasn't been released yet, but as soon as it does, I will be reading immediately. The next one is Daydream by Hannah Grace. Again, I just love Hannah Grace's writing. I love that whole hockey world that they're in and the found family that they have, so I'm very excited to continue that. That release has actually got pushed back because I believe it was meant to be like the 4th of June, and I went to pre-order it the other day with it being June, and I was like, oh, it now says August, so yeah, that's not coming out for a while, but I am very excited, and it just gives me a little bit more time to catch up on some of the other new releases that have come out. Then the last one, which I think actually may have been released by the time this video is up, and that is Leather and Lark, which is the second one to Butcher and Blackbird. I read Butcher and Blackbird, I think maybe in March time, and yeah, loved it. It was so good. It was quite comedic, like quite funny. I actually really enjoyed that one. I wasn't sure whether I was going to like it. I was like, serial killers, romance, does that work? And it did work amazingly, so I'm very excited to read Leather and Lark, and I'll probably be doing like a reading vlog on it, but yeah, I'm very excited about that one. The next prompt is the biggest surprise of the year, so books that I wasn't sure I was going to enjoy and then did end up actually really enjoying. So the first one is Checkmate by Ali Hazelwood. This was kind of her YA debut, and I was just a bit unsure about it because of all the chess, but you know what? I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. I was like, am I going to like it? Is it going to be too much chess talk? Am I going to understand what's going on? But you know what, it's actually really good. I actually really enjoyed the chess talk. Now there is a lot of chess talk, but it's actually really interesting, and yeah, I just really liked it. I do feel like there could have been slightly more romance in the book, to be honest, but the parts of romance that were in there I ate up, so it was great. Then the next one was A Court of Thorns and Roses, just the series in general. I haven't actually finished the series, but I am really enjoying it, and I was kind of shocked because I hadn't read any fantasy before, and I was like, I just don't think I'm a fantasy girly. Turns out I am, and now all I want to read is fantasy. I'm like, oh, romance? Can we add fantasy to that? So yeah, this was a big shock to me, to be honest. I actually read this back in March and have now read the second one. I do want to read the third one. I'm just trying to find time to read that 500-page book or 600-page book. But yeah, loved it. And yeah, I just feel like if you're worried that you're not a fantasy girly or guy, you might be. You actually might be. So just give it a go. It's just, yeah, I really enjoyed it, and now, yeah, like I say, all I want to read is fantasy, and I'm just like, I must buy fantasy books all the time. I've started a little fantasy bit on my shelf over there now, so yeah. That was a very big surprise for me. And then the last book that was a big surprise that I have just actually mentioned was Butcher and Blackbird. Again, like I said, I just was like, is this going to be for me? Serial killer romance, is that going to work? And it does work, and it's very funny. Yeah, I actually really did enjoy it, and like I said, I'm very excited for the second one, so that just shows you how much I enjoyed it. It was just so funny, and I just think it actually really did work. It was a really interesting concept and a very out there concept for a book, but the romance and the serial killer stuff was just hilarious and did really work. So yeah, really enjoyed this one. And again, like I say, it was a shocker because I was like, just not sure if that's for me, but turns out it was. The next prompt is new favourite authors. So again, I actually have a couple for this. So the first one is Sarah J Maas, however you say it, the author of ACOTAR, Throne of Glass, that kind of series. Yeah, again, like I've mentioned a few times in this video, I just didn't think fantasy was going to be for me. But I actually really enjoyed the ACOTAR series, or the ones that I've read so far, and I just feel like she's going to become one of my new favourite authors, or has already, because just how, even in book 2, just how she linked certain things that like you had hints of in book 1 was just amazing. Literally had me crying, giggling, kicking my feet. If you know, you know. Then I was just like, yeah, amazing. The next one is Jessa Hastings. I did actually start Magnolia Parks last year, but I just feel like now that I've read more of the series, she's just become one of my absolute favourite authors. I just feel how she writes is just so poetic. Like, she really has some great quotes in her books. Like, she doesn't just tell you how someone's feeling. I feel like how she really describes how someone's feeling, and you really feel like you're in the character's head, is just incredible. Absolutely incredible. Her writing is just phenomenal, especially in the Magnolia Park series. So yeah, I just absolutely love her. And then another one of my new favourite authors is actually Bryn Weaver, who wrote Butcher and Blackbird and Leather and Lark. Again, I just feel like the whole concept of a serial killer romance, she just managed to make really funny, and yeah, it just worked, and I just really liked how she wrote it. And again, that whole comedic aspect of certain like certain scenes in the book, it just actually really did work. So yeah, she's one of my new favourite authors now, and I actually need to read all of the books in this series that she brings out. I believe there's going to be a third one, so I'm already very excited about that. The next prompt is a fun one, and it is newest fictional crush. Now, I feel like it would be wrong if I didn't put Reese first. Now I want to date someone with wings. Why is that not a thing? He is now my fictional top tier boyfriend, because in that one scene, I can't say what it is because it will ruin it. In the one scene, I feel like you're going to know, with Feyre, in the one scene where he describes this thing that's happening, like the main thing in the book, when he's describing that and talking about his feelings and all of that stuff, my heart just broke, and I was just like, he's amazing and I want him. He shall be mine. But yeah, I love him. He's just, yeah, I loved him in the first book. I was like, Tamlin, I don't like you, get out, I don't want to see you anymore, give me more of Reese. He's just, oh yeah, I just love him. The next one is Julian Hates. Again, he's just so like amazing, especially in Daisy Hates The Great Undoing, because you get his point of view on the things that happened. I'm like, this man, he's a softie. He's a gang lord softie. I just love him. I am a diehard Julian Hates girly. I mean, don't get me wrong, I do love Magnolia and Beej, but in another world, Julian and Magnolia were soulmates. I truly believe that. My last newest fictional crush is Jasper Jarvis from Powerless in the not Elsie Silver series, in the Chestnut Springs series. I loved a hockey man already, but hockey cowboy, hello. Sign me up for that. Sign me up for that. Yeah, literally loved him. Everything about that man in the book was just incredible, and the things he went through, again, my heart just breaks. Break my heart and I want to be with you. Simple as that. The next prompt is a book that made me cry, and to be honest, I feel like I've only actually cried at one book this year. I couldn't remember any others, and I had a quick scroll back through my Goodreads and I couldn't see any others, but this one literally had me sobbing, and that is Magnolia Parks A Long Way Home. The ending of this book, if you've read it you will know, but my heart was broken. I was sobbing at another point, because I thought the ending that happened was going to happen at that point in the book, which was a bit earlier, and it didn't, but I thought it was going to, and I was crying, and I was like, oh, we're okay now. Oh no, we're not okay. I'm crying again. So yeah, it literally broke my heart, and this is why I'm just so scared to read Magnolia Parks Into the Dark, because I don't want to know. I don't want to know that it's true. I don't want to know that it's true. I want to be Delulu and pretend that it's not. But yeah, this book literally had me in tears, and I feel like if you've read it then you know why. And again, Jessa Hastings, like, quotes that she uses to describe these situations that is going on, just really adds to the heartbreak. The next one is a book that made me happy. So first one is Powerless by Elsie Silver. Again, I just loved Jasper and I love Sloane and I loved the friendship to lovers. Elsie Silver did this so good in this book. I did actually take a break like between reading it because of like work commitments and stuff, so I was like, am I enjoying this as much as I think? But I was. I like when I got back into it, I did actually really enjoy it again, and literally on the first day that I read it, I was just planning on reading like 100-ish pages and I've binged like 200 pages, so that just shows you how much that I enjoyed this book. But yeah, loved it. I just again loved the friends to lovers aspect of this book. And then the next one that just was just such a cute fluffy story that just gave you all the rom-commy vibes was When in Rome by Sarah Adams. It was just so cute. I loved the story that like the storyline of it, again the small town romance, just the small town aspect of the book was really adorable with like the found family and everybody coming together in the small town. And yeah, I just really liked it. We didn't necessarily have a really bad third act conflict. There wasn't too much of a third act conflict, so it was okay. And yeah, it was just cute, fluffy, rom-commy vibes. Literally, like if you was to watch a 2000s rom-com film, this is it really. So yeah, it was amazing and just all the good vibes, just what you needed, what I needed at the time really. And then the last prompt for this video is the books that I need to read by the end of the year. So I've picked a couple of series and a couple of books that either I want to like finish the series or obviously read the book. So I have got like a couple of priority ones. So the first one is to finish off the Natural series, and I actually only have one book left, which is the last one, and then like the novella which is combined into that book. So that's obviously very doable, but yeah, I'm really enjoying that series and I've read like one book every month for the past couple of months. So I really want to finish that one off. Then I need to read the rest of the Avatar series. So I've read books 1 and 2. I've got 3, 4 and 5 left to read. That is a heck of a lot of pages to read, but I feel like it is doable. You know, I've still got the rest of the year, and obviously we'll be going into autumn and winter time, and that is like fantasy book season, although it's literally not even sunny here anyway. But regardless, yeah, I'm really excited to actually finish off that series, and then I think I'm going to tackle Throne of Glass. So pray for me guys, because that is a long series. Then I also want to read the Boys of Tommen series, so I have actually asked for that for my birthday, so I feel like, well, I know that I've got that for my birthday. I don't have it yet, but I know that I will be having it. So I do actually want to read that series this year too. I am worried that it's going to be so heartbreaking that I might need to take a little break in between. But I do actually want to read and finish that series this year because I've got the FOMO. I've got big FOMO. So yeah, I need to read that one. And I obviously know that the newest one in that series has come out as well, Taming 7. So I think there's like 5 books in total that I need to read. Then I have a couple of books, as I mentioned. So I want to read Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez. Again, I've heard so many good things about this. It's been on my TBR for a while now. I do actually own a physical copy of it. So I just need to get around to reading it. But yeah, I just need to prioritise it and get around to reading it because I just heard great things. And I also heard that there's really good anxiety representation, and as an anxiety girly, I am intrigued to read about this. And the last book that I really want to read, again, has just been on my TBR for so long, and I just feel like I've got the FOMO again. So it is actually Archer's Voice, and I have purchased myself that for my birthday. So you'll probably see that in my birthday book haul if you want to watch that. But yeah, so I do really want to read that book. Again, I've heard so many good things about it, and just, yeah, again, like I said, got the FOMO, need to read it. But those are actually all the books that we're going to go through in today's video. It's nice to do like a little check-in and see where I am. Again, I feel like most of the books were like repeated, so I feel like I need to maybe branch out a little bit for the rest of the year and see if I can get some new books in there, and we can kind of do another similar check-in towards the end of the year, like a little roundup. But yeah, thank you so much for watching today's video, and I'll see you in another one super soon. Bye.